creativity is about resolving conflicts. Creativity is a mechanism, a mental mechanism that is poorly understood. Aristotle identified it as looking at what is universal in Greek plays, in Greek tragedies. And he recognized that the plays start with a conflict which he called hubris in Greek, and they end up with catharsis and emotional cleansing. And that the person goes through an experience which he called continuity of action, that is corresponding to preservation of energy. And energy is the key that I have identified as a scientific phenomenon. Aristotle was a philosopher. He was a scientist. But at his times, they didn't have laws of physics and laws of logic. So my introduction, my contribution in the field of creativity, psychology and morality, is recognizing in the creative process, which is basically manifested in the plot of every story. The story begins with a conflict and ends in a resolution. Music, a composition, a play, a movie, cartoon characters in comics, they start with a conflict and end up with a resolution. So it is an essential phenomenon that has been ignored. And my contribution is recognizing that as energy that is jerking our pendulum from a position of rest when we have a conflict, and that the unconscious transforms that energy into a moral solution, into justice, into conflict resolution. Religion sensed that universal phenomenon and ascribed it to the divine, so that religions evolved as discoveries of conflict resolution, and they improved the family. All the same, they were just metaphors, parables, plays. They didn't simplify things to understand a universal phenomenon with abstract language of science. So yours truly made the difference by recognizing the scientific aspects of the creative process as a pendulum oscillation, three pendulums, like the three acts of a play. My hope is that people can use the technology of creativity for self-discovery, to learn about behavior as a science, to learn about the part of diagnosis of how they do power things, and have a technology that they can share as creative stories. And all of these murals here are about this creativity, helping people to heal from illness or to be educated about wellness. Creativity has been my journey from the Second World War and the Holocaust to understand why the world has been so destructive. And I have navigated through this career as a psychiatrist, trying to understand the question, what is it that drives people both to be creative and also to be challenging each other and hurting each other. And so I found some answers, and I got myself into being an innkeeper to develop here a learning center, and I've been successful creating a number of exhibits. One is the sculptural trail, one is this sanctuary of wisdom. I have a retrospective of an artist who did 100 paintings, and I organize them in a meaningful way rather than as art. So creativity has inspired me to make a contribution